Welcome to another night in the NBA. This is your 10-minute recap of the last night of NBA hoops, a night with 8 games of NBA action, but I want to start us off with Celtics versus Sixers, because I would say this is the marquee matchup of the night, two teams that are probably the top 2 teams in the Eastern Conference. I say it's Celtics, Sixers, and then pretty much everyone else, although there are some other good teams that have been playing well, like the Pacers and Miami and even Milwaukee, who was good tonight. But this is the big matchup of the night, and the Sixers beat them last time they played. They played last week, and the Sixers won 106-103, but this time it's the Celtics taking this game 117-107, and this is despite the team missing 2 of, I would say, their top 3 players. Jaylen Brown doesn't play, and Kristaps Porzingis doesn't play, but the Celtics win by 10 regardless, and it felt like they had control of this game for pretty much the entirety of it, which is kind of insane, and just speaks to the level of top-end talent that the Celtics have, because they're missing 2 of those guys, but they still have Tatum, who was great in this game, 29 points, 8 rebounds, 6 assists, did shoot less than 50% from the field, but was more than good enough. Derrick White as well, who's been really good to start the year once again. He's been great over the past few years for them now, and more than just a playoff guy, he's been great in the regular season. Derrick White finishes this game with 27 points, 5 assists, 7 of 12 from the field, and 4 of 8 from 3, so 50% from 3 and more like 60% from the field. So great Derrick White game. And then Jrue Holiday coming up big on the boards, 18 points and 10 rebounds from Jrue Holiday. In the backcourt of Derrick White and Jrue Holiday continues to be probably the best defensive backcourt in the entire league. They hold Tyrese Maxey to 6 of 15 shooting. He's had a couple of bad games in a row now, and Embiid can only get to 20 points. Robert Covington and Tobias Harris, as well as DeAnthony Melton, all have 16. So 3 of the Sixers starters have 16 and 2 of them have 20, which is kind of odd. But despite that, the Celtics just win this game. 36% from 3 is fine. 48% from the field is pretty good. And they just... despite the injuries, they win this game, which I think is kind of crazy. Kelly Oubre has been out for the Sixers for the past couple after that car accident that he was hit by a car. But the Celtics are great, man. It feels like they shouldn't have won this game. You don't have Jaylen Brown, who was an all-star last year, Kristaps Porzingis, who looks like an all-star this year. It just feels like you're missing 2 all-stars. Your team shouldn't be able to beat a top 2 team in either conference. That feels like almost like it should be humanly impossible. But the Celtics are too good, and it doesn't really matter. Al Horford getting the start tonight in place of Porzingis finishes with 14 points and 8 rebounds. And then Sam Hauser gets the start in place of Jaylen Brown, and he plays 35 minutes. It's a lot of minutes logged for Hauser in this game. 8 points. They get 9 from Luke Cornett off the bench, who's a perfect 4 for 4, and Pritchard plays the most minutes off the bench with 23, but only a 9-man rotation for the Celtics tonight, as Coach Joe Mazzulla kept it pretty tight, and really Delano Banton only played 8 minutes, so it was more of like an 8-man rotation of guys who really played, and Svi Mykhailiuk getting minutes tonight, but the Celtics are good. They look like they're playoff caliber right now, like they're finely tuned. They're going to continue to be good all season long. They lost barely to the Minnesota Timberwolves, lost to them in overtime, and they lost by 3 to Philly earlier this year. But it feels like Boston is the best team in pretty much every game that they play in. And I don't know how you look at the Celtics right now and say that this isn't the best team in the Eastern Conference, because it just feels like that's the case. They have an MVP candidate in Jayson Tatum, who's averaging nearly 30 points a game, I believe. I'll check it. I'll just be sure. 28.4 points per game, 9 rebounds, 4 assists, 53% from the field, and 40% from 3. It's the best shooting season from 3 he's had, it feels like, since his rookie year. Because since he put on the muscle, he's really struggled to shoot from downtown, but it feels like he's fixed that problem and he's really shooting it well, which makes this Celtics offense so much more dangerous. But on top of that, he's way more dangerous in the post than he used supposed to be. He's catching looks in the post, he's operating out of the post, and it makes them so dangerous. Jaylen Brown still looks like an all-star. He's been really good this year. Kristaps Porzingis is a defensive monster, blocking a lot of shots, but also just spacing the floor and hitting threes because he's getting open looks because of all the talent on this team. And then, like I said, Jrue Holiday and Derrick White is arguably and probably is the best defensive backcourt in the league, and either guy can give you 20 plus on any given night. It feels like all of the Celtics starters can give you 20 plus on any given night, and they could get 20 from Al Horford off the bench. The Celtics team is just really, really good at the top. It's not super deep when you look at the bench because Pritchard hasn't been all that good this year, and Hauser has been kind of hit or miss as well. So the Celtics aren't super deep, but they're deep with really high-end talent. Most teams don't have the level of top-end guys that they do, and the Celtics just feel unstoppable. It doesn't matter who's out for them, they can still win games, and this is a huge kind of impressive statement victory for them over a Sixers team that's been really good. Like I said, both Embiid and Maxey kind of struggle. A minus 25 for Embiid, and Maxey shoots 6 for 15, and the Celtics win this game by 10. But now let's shoot around the NBA, look at different action from this night, and try to get an idea of what happened on this night of NBA basketball. So, in other action from around the NBA, we did have 7 other games, but I'll start us off with Mavs versus Wizards, because after the Mavs lost yesterday's game to the Pelicans, it felt like some of their steam from early on in the year had kind of cooled off, but they blow out the Wizards in this game 130 to 117. They get 26, I believe, from Luka Doncic. Let me pull up the box. They do get 26 from Luka, who only plays 32 minutes. They get 31 from Tim Hardaway Jr., 20 from Derrick Jones Jr., and then Derek Lively with 17 points, 9 rebounds, and a couple of blocks. Kyrie Irving doesn't even play in this game, and the Mavs just absolutely blow out the Wizards. This game was never close. Very big bounce-back win for the Mavs. The Knicks beat the Hawks in an impressive win in Atlanta. 116 to 114 Knicks win, 29 points, 10 rebounds, and 8 assists from Julius Randle. The Hawks just couldn't get it done down the stretch. It seemed like they had come back and might win this game, but the Knicks stay strong, hold it, and get the victory against a Hawks team that has looked like one of the better teams in the East to start the year, and the Knicks have really bounced back after somewhat struggling to start the year. The Bucks beat the Raptors 128 to 112, and they get 30 plus from each of their backcourt guys. 37 points and 13 assists from Damian Lillard, who was electric tonight. I would say the best game of Dame's season so far, and they also get 31 points from Malik Beasley, who was really good in this game. The Raptors get 29 points, 9 rebounds, and 7 assists from Scotty Barnes. But when the Raptors backcourt puts up like nearly 70 points, it's hard to win a game. The Magic beat the Bulls 96 to 94 thanks to a game winner from Paolo Banchero, and it feels ever more likely and more obvious than it's been in the past that the Bulls need to blow it up. This Bulls team is done. The Magic, who have been good this year, like this isn't some sort of indictment against the Magic, but the Bulls probably should have won this game with how it was going down the stretch, and they just don't. They get 17 from Vooch, 19 from Levine. There is no DeRozan in this game, so I guess that's something, but Zach LaVine 6 of 16, 8 of 18 from Vucevic. Neither guy goes even 50%, and Kobe White 2 of 10 in this game has just been not good to start the year, and the Magic are led in scoring by Paolo Banchero with 17 points and also had 9 rebounds. The Magic are a good team, and it feels like the Bulls at this point just aren't. The Bulls fall to 4-8, and I think LaVine will be traded within the next month. I don't even think it reaches the trade deadline. This thing is going to get blown up. The Suns beat the Timberwolves 133 to 115. They get 31 apiece from Kevin Durant and Devin Booker. It's nice to see both of those guys playing together because, you know, Booker's missed a lot of time to start the year. They thought maybe it'd be the debut of the big three that Bradley Beal would play tonight. He doesn't, but it doesn't matter because the Suns win this one handily. And the Timberwolves, after getting that win yesterday in kind of the WrestleMania game with Draymond and Rudy Gobert, they lose this one on the second night of a back-to-back, and the Suns move to 5-6 and are kind of starting to turn their season around. There are also 2 games that are still going on, but I feel like both games are relatively decided. The Kings are up 20 on the Lakers in the third quarter. Sabonis already almost kind of almost has a triple-double. 24 points, 14 rebounds, and 6 assists from Sabonis, who's been really good this year. And the Cavs are up 7 on the Trailblazers. I assume that'll hold. It's 75-68. Also, 2 minutes to go in the third quarter. 23 points and 6 rebounds from Donovan Mitchell. And the best performer from the Blazers so far has been Duop Reith with 12 points. But that'll do it for the games tonight. But as always, let's get into the last segment, which is the top 5 players of the night according to the Real Sports app. I just kind of want to always give a glimpse of who performed well on any given night of NBA action, and this is obviously with 2 games still going on, but let's just get into it. The top 2 players are both Milwaukee Bucks. At number 1, we have Damian Lillard with 37 points, 13 assists, and 4 rebounds. Malik Beasley at 2 with 30 points, 8 made threes, and 79% from the field. Just so good tonight. Julius Randle at 3 with 29 points, 10 rebounds, and 8 assists. Kevin Durant at 4 with 31 points, 6 rebounds, and 73% shooting. And then Domantas Sabonis is already at number 5 with 24 points, 14 rebounds, and 6 assists. But that'll do it for this night in the NBA. Another night in the NBA. Thanks for watching. Think about subscribing. I'm on the road to 12,000 subscribers, but I hope you enjoyed. Thanks again for watching. I'm Herm. Have a good one.